I know, that's what I just said. I mean, I
Go
wasn't
straight.
listening to
Did Chris
Dr.
elect a new board of selectmen?
I don't know, but I wasn't appreciative.
I don't know who we're missing.
We can always use all the help we can.
Yes, you ready to go?
Yeah,
Okay. Turn your microphone
start
on.
those now.
Recording in progress.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the August 5th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen. I'm First Selectman Colin Mullen, and call this meeting to order. If everyone would please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I will open up the floor to public comment. We'll start in the room. Is there any public comment in the room? So one hand, if you could just state your name and address for the record. We're also going to get you a microphone.
Yeah, you guys can choose.
Thank you. Hi, Neil Hornish, Thrall Avenue. I noticed in the agenda that item 7 discusses the discussion to disband the Social Service Commission. In a nutshell, the Board of Selectmen doesn't have the authority to disband it. You have the authority to disband temporary commissions, but the Social Service Commission is listed in the charter. So I think to disband it would require a revision to the charter. And I know this commission has been having problems. I remember the chair came and spoke to the Board of Selectmen a while back. But if there are problems with members not performing their duties, they're appointed, so you can just remove them and replace them with other people who are willing to do the work. I know some other people have expressed an interest in serving on it, so just wanted to state that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other public comment in the room? I see a hand. If you could just state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, Senator Janet on Prospect Street. I'm going to follow up on what Neil said. I actually did look at the charter as well, and I'm not going to go through the details of all the language. I'm sure you all can go back and look. It is in the charter, and I believe that it would require, in order to disband it, especially given the duties that are listed on it, is what, what it does. I do believe that it would require a revision to the charter. That's my own personal opinion. And second of all, I truly believe that Southfield needs this commission, and it needs an effective commission. I've had a lot of experience in dealing with social services and the types of activities, services that they provide, what needs to happen. In fact, I don't know, Colin, what happened, but in December, on December 4th, I actually emailed you a letter of interest in the position. I got it right here, if you know my number, just pass it on. So I asked you in the email to please pass it on to the rest of the board. Of course, they're all stuck together. Here we go. Here's the comment.
It's okay, it's okay.
Look at it. You guys can sell.
Humid weather, right?
It's like, I'm like really
Thank you.
struggling here.
And nice big print for me.
Well, the thing is, it's like, I'm blind these days. And like I said, I truly believe in the services that this commission provides. And I still, to this day, would be very happy to serve on this commission as a permanent member, and to do the work that has been outlined for them. In fact, I have been talking with Rob and Tony about the issues they have with the free buses and for seniors and open garage for seniors, and trying to getting enough transportation for what we need in town. I've been talking to Robin about it, and I'm very interested in helping with it. So that's it for that. Now, the other thing I wanted to address very quickly is, I know you guys have been on break, but right before the summer break, I don't know if you have had an opportunity to look at the minutes from the library commission meeting. It was brought up by Amy, our library director, that for situations. I mean, to the point it was an issue, that they were having as many as 30 and 40 kids in the library at a time. And, yeah, she said they don't go in to be unruly or whatever, but let's face it, you get that many kids together and the place is supposed to be quiet, and how long would it, it's not an ideal situation. But the issue is we have no place in town for them to go. What can they do? If we have kids that can't go straight home from school or whatever, those 30 or 40 kids for whatever reason, we need options for them. We can't just tell the library, kick them out. We need a place for them to go. So my suggestion would be very clearly, if you want to do a task force, start there. Leave the Social Services Commission alone. Do a task force looking at the issue in the library, because it's a community issue. It's not a library issue. It should be multiple agencies within the town working together to solve this. That's my own personal opinion. And I thank you for listening. I hope everyone is having a great summer.
All right, thank you. Is there any other public comment in the room? All right, I'm going to go to Zoom. Is there any public comment on Zoom? Any public comment on Zoom? All right, I don't see any. We're going to move to item number 3 is discussion and approval of the minutes from June 3rd, 2026, regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen.
So this is Kathy Harrington. I move that they be adopted as drafted.
All right, the motion has been made. Is there any discussion?
May I also add that, thank you. May I also add that I did ask that some of these numbers be inserted when we voted to go up on the fees to the landfill. I had a conversation with our highway superintendent, and I'd like these numbers to be added into the minutes, how it shows how our DEP has gone up $22,000, tires at 10% fuel charge, also up 15%. Chris, I'll give you the numbers, but there's a few that I would like to see in the minutes just to substantiate why we had to go up on these landfill fees.
I do recall that. I don't have any issues with that because I'm here.
So I'll accept that as a friendly amendment.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Motion has been made with the friendly amendment. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Item number 4 is discussion and appointment of a full member to the Ethics Commission from June 30th, 2026 through July 1st, 2030. One of the members, Dara Goings, won't be seeking reappointment, so there is an available position as a full member. Brendan Malone is the next up as the alternate, so we typically put the longest serving person in the alternate position up, and I recommend that we do that. If you have any questions or any discussion?
So this is Kathy Harrington. I would make a motion that we appoint Brendan Malone to be a full member of the Ethics Commission from June 30th, 2026 through July 1st, 2030.
Okay, the motion has been made. Is there any discussion? I will point out that we are waiting for some recommendations still. I do have one recommendation from one party, and a volunteer in town did volunteer for this as well, so we'll try to get these filled by next month.
This is Selectman Harrington. I would also note that in addition to this vacancy that the first selectman just mentioned for a full member, we also have a vacancy for an alternate currently as well.
Correct, well, there'll be 2 alternates.
And now we'll have 2 alternates.
Once we move it up.
If the motion passes, then we would have 2 alternate positions for this commission.
Correct.
Great.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Item number 5 is discussion and reappointment of Benjamin Rodriguez to the North Central District Health Department Board through June 30th, 2029.
Selectman Harrington, so moved.
All right, the motion has been made. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Item number 6 is discussion, appointment, and/or reappointment of 2 full members to the Historic District Commission through June 30th, 2030. I did share with you guys that we had 2 volunteers not supported by either party, Robin Zatoni and Kit Moncrief, that were interested in the position. I am still waiting, I haven't received anything as of now from either the TTC or RTC. I'm under the understanding that they're both looking. So we do have also 2 positions that are expiring, and that's Bill Marito and John Schwemmer. So a couple options here. Do we want to reappoint them?
What was the name of Moncrief? What was your first name?
Kit.
Okay. So, along with the Social Services Commission, this commission also has a big problem with attendance and getting a quorum. We've got, we've had plenty of time for both of our major parties to come up with names. We don't have them. And these 2 people want to volunteer their time to go on the commission. I think it's imperative that we get them on so that they can keep doing the work that they're supposed to be doing. And, you know, if the 2 parties have a much wider reach and they can't get anyone to step forward, I don't see why we should wait.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I did speak with Kip at the farmer's market. He is very interested in serving. He is in town. His father actually served years ago on the historic and helped write the book, which he's very eager to update, make some changes.
Okay, thank you.
So this is Selectman Harrington. I don't disagree with the comments that Selectman Hill has made. That said, though, I would like to give the parties 1 more month until our September meeting before acting, because I also feel like there's a lot of moving parts on this commission. Depending on, you know, we have a fairly long-standing alternate member that potentially might want to be moved up if, you know, to one of these 2 new positions, 2 full-time positions that are up for reappointment, if we don't reappoint them. So I feel like there's a lot of moving parts, and I would like to just really have until September.
Can you tell me if Bill Marino or John Schwemmer are interested in re-upping?
They both are.
They both are, so we can do that at least tonight.
If we want, they would still, even though their positions are expired, they would still be members even if
Okay.
we didn't take action.
Okay.
So they're members until reappointed or replaced. Claire, do you have any?
Yeah, this is Claire Blanco. I would agree that I would like to also wait until September, mostly because, you know, this is our first meeting back after the summer hiatus, and just given the last individual that we appointed to the commission unfortunately had to drop out due to other commitments. I personally served on this commission. I did see the quorum issue when I was on it a number of years ago. The current members that we have on there have been really great overall in terms of attendance. I have looked at the attendance for this year. A majority of them have been attending most of the meetings so far this year. So I just want to make sure we get it right, we get someone that really wants to be on there. It certainly seems like Robin and Kip have a lot of interest in being on there. Kathy, you made a good point about Crystal, you know, potentially, you know, moving up into a full-time position. We'll just have to look at, you know, John and Bill and their attendance records and gauge their interest a little bit on whether they want to stay on. But I would agree, I'd probably like to see us wait until September, just see if either party has any other recommendations and go from there, just so we all feel really confident about it.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of moving parts to this. You got 2 potential reappointments. If you don't reappoint 1 or 2, then you gotta move somebody potentially up from the alternate position. And then you wanna put one of these newer people up into a full position or alternate position. I'm open to anything right now. I do support Robin and Kip, that both are on this task force that I created to help assist the historic district with their handbook and their website, so they are committed.
So this is Pete Hill. I'll make a motion to appoint Robin Zatoni and Kip Moncrief to the Historic District Commission.
Okay, so technically as of now, we only have one position.
Oh, okay.
That's the other part of this.
There's-
So,
Yeah.
I thought there were two.
Oh,
Well,
well,
the two are for full.
Two full members.
two full, oh, yeah,
That would be Bill Marito and John, who are currently serving.
correct.
And then we have one alternate position.
So it's more if we didn't appoint and reappoint somebody, there are
Then
two
we would have to.
positions. Yeah. Did you still wanna?
Yeah, I'd still like to keep that motion.
Okay, all right. So the motion has been made. Is there any discussion?
So,
Oh,
Full, I'm sorry, as full members.
A full and one alternate.
No,
Or so
to
you,
appoint Robin Zatoni and Bill, and
okay,
Kip Moncrief
got it,
as full members of the Historic District Commission.
thank you.
all right, so the motion has been made. Is there any discussion?
so this is Selectman Harrington. I'm gonna vote against the motion, but really only because I wanna table this till September, not because I'm not voting in favor of those two volunteers, because I actually do also agree that they are both very good volunteers, and I'm very interested in them. I, like Claire, want to make sure we get it right this time. I was very disappointed that the last person we put on stepped down, I think within a month or to a month and a half of being appointed, and I do want to get it right. So I just wanted, for the record, I'm going to vote against it, but that's the reason why. That doesn't mean in September I'm going to vote against those two if they're put up again, if the motion doesn't pass tonight.
Or is there any further discussion?
This is Claire Blanco, just one more comment. I will also likely be voting against this only because John Schwemmer actually stepped up as chair after Doug Main chose to step down. Doug was a longtime chair, did a great job. John has stepped into that role, has really dedicated a lot of time to it, is doing a good job, and he shows up to the meetings. So knowing that he has expressed interest to stay on, that would be why I would be voting against this motion.
I actually agree with you, Pete, that, these two members should go on. However, John is the current chair of the commission, and I would not be in favor of replacing him at this moment, so. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye?
Opposed?
Opposed?
All right, the motion fails.
So this is Kathy Harrington. I would make a motion that we table the discussion, appointment, and/or reappointment of two full members to the Historic District Commission through June 30th, 2020, to our September meeting.
All right, the motion has been made. Is there any discussion on the motion?
This is Pete Hill. My only comment is that we've been on break for 2 months, and this has come up before that. So it's probably 4 or 5 months that both of the major parties in town have had a chance to bring people in, and they haven't. And I think we should move forward tonight.
Okay. Any further discussion? Do we want to consider putting one of these people on? Or just wait completely?
Sure, I'll make a motion to.
Well, there's a motion
Oh,
on the floor.
sorry.
This is just more for discussion, in
Yep.
case this has somebody.
And you have heard from both Bill and from John that they're interested in
Correct.
reappointment.
Yes. So that only leaves one,
Exactly.
unless we don't reappoint another, one of those two. If not, then,
So we could conceivably put somebody in even the alternate position tonight?
correct.
Okay.
Do you guys have anything you want to add?
I want to wait till
We're gonna
September.
wait? Okay. I respect that. Not opposed to waiting, but I also understand where Pete's coming from, because I 100% agree with those statements.
I also respect and understand what Selectman Hill said.
Okay. All right. No further discussion. I'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Opposed?
All right, the motion carries 3-2. Opposed. Item number 7 is discussion and approval to disband the Social Services Commission and create a Social Services Task Force. So about a year ago, we had brought this forward with the current chair, Robin Zatoni, that there were issues with forming quorums, getting people to potentially, do some work on the commission. And then I had recommended creating a task force for her, which she had, agreed that would probably be best. Perhaps the word disbanding is not the right word for this. Obviously, we had to go check state statutes, which we checked, we didn't find anything, thing that required this from the town. However, the charter does have this in there, so, maybe when we say disband, it's for future charter revision, purposes. I think we're all in agreement that this commission needs some help. But I know there are people that still wanna do work, and I'm not sure we wanna enter down the path of removing people from commissions and boards, because I'm not really sure where that stops and how we pick and choose beyond attendance, what's that level of attendance, what's that commitment to doing work on the commission. So I'm still open to creating a task force. Robin Zatoni has volunteered to still chair that, and then, search for people that would be willing to assist with that stuff. In keeping in mind that they want to do the same work that the commission would be tasked to do. So I'll open up the floor to discussion and see what everyone's thoughts are.
This is Claire Blanco. Colin, just one question for you to confirm. So by establishing a task force within the Social Services Commission, it omits the need for the quorum? That's one of the major benefits? That way they can still conduct work without having to worry as much about that?
Wouldn't be establishing a task force within
Okay.
that commission, we'd be establishing a task force from my office.
From your
Yeah,
office?
from-
Okay,
like
I
we
just wanted
have
to
the-
confirm, make sure it was clear.
Yep,
Okay,
like the sustainable task force.
okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Well, I did some looking on our charter today, and I'm really conflicted with this because according to their bylaws, the commission may create committees such as a task force or a study group. That's in their bylaws that they actually filed online. And I guess the other thing is if a member doesn't attend a number of meetings, that the chairman had the right to ask them to resign. I personally think that we should go back through the minutes. I think you should see who has showed up or not shown up to these meetings. And I think that needs to be dealt with first. I've been around long enough, so the Social Services Commission before was very instrumental between the minibus driver, the senior center, the youth services and everything else. And that's kind of become, I don't want to say disjointed, but as we have new employees and the whole mission of this has kind of gone aside. So I would not like to see it disbanded. If you want to create a task force, that's fine, but you also have paid employees between our social services from Suffield Emergency Aid, Community Aid, is a contracted service. And this was kind of a bridge to keep everybody on the same plate. And I just think to get rid of this and put a task force in, I don't know, this was formed for a purpose, and I think it should be looked at, or get your task force on, let them go over everything, let them look. They have the right, according to their bylaws, to create one. But also, if people are signed up to go to these commissions and choose not to come to the meetings, I mean, they Zoom these meetings as well. So that's not an excuse not to come to these meetings. So Zoom it, look at it later, do something, but just don't appear. Then maybe it's time to step down, and you have a lot of other people in the community that might want to step up. Times are changing, and I think people do have a voice.
Thank you. I'd just like to point out that this isn't a recent issue, that the former chair had approached me when I first got in, explaining that this is basically the same issue she had, and she was the chair for many years before.
This is Selectman, just turn myself off. This is Selectman Harrington. Do we have a Board of Selectmen liaison to this commission?
We do, I know. I want to say it might actually be Kathy.
Was it me?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Okay.
Because I was wondering, your suggestion of going through the minutes and working with them to see like what changes, like maybe whoever the liaison from the Board of Selectmen could maybe take up the lead in doing that and working with Robin Zatoni, who's the chair. I do like the idea of a task force, just in terms of like them getting work done, like helping them get work done. I do see your point, because my concern also was about the charter, because it's in there. I did see their bylaws that said they could create a task force, so maybe in the interim, that's something that they can do right now, is maybe create a task force or two to get some work done. But maybe whoever our liaison is could work with them.
I would
get the clear connected?
definitely go and do something like that, but they only meet a couple of times a year. And the other thing, and I would be more than happy to try to hop on board with that, because it seems like looking at their agendas, I mean, they were talking about the gazebo on this, and that was already being taken care of. So I think that's another thing, to try to bring everybody together and understand what's going on in town, and maybe refocus to what they need to actually kind of focus on.
This is Pete L. So I had a talk with one of the members actually this afternoon, and she can't do it due to work commitments anymore. So we need to, you know, I understand that it's an odd, they meet like Friday mornings and stuff. But that being said, this has been an ongoing problem for, it almost seems like years. I think we're at the point now where if people can't make it between work and family, and I completely understand that, then they should resign. And these aren't 3-hour meetings, they're probably a half an hour, 45 minutes at the most. Just going back through the few minutes, there were meetings with just the chairman and the vice chairman. And there's usually like 2, maybe 3 people at a meeting when there's 7 on this commission. I think either from the first selectman or from the chairman, or just say it's from the board of selectmen. You know, we would like to know your commitment, you know, between now and September. We want to know your commitment to the Social Services Commission. Can you make it to the meetings? If you can't, we would kindly ask that you resign so we can fill your position with someone that can. And then see where that goes, and then it will give us a month, and we'll see where they're at. And then we can make a decision of what, you know, task force or appointing people that will actually go to the meetings. Because if we get people to go to the meetings, we don't need the task force, we're fine, right? So that's our goal, right? But we just need to find out from these people. They can't just not go and then expect us not to do anything. Like, we need this commission. So if they're not doing anything, I'm sorry, I think they should resign, or we should, and if they won't resign, and if they keep missing meetings, then we'll have to go through the removal of office type thing, which is, nobody wants to do.
So do we want to do the same thing we kind of did with HGC a year ago? Went back to the chair and said, hey, we ask these people their commitment, ask them to resign, or see how that goes?
Yeah.
This is Claire Blanco. I think it's a little beyond asking the commitment. This is my perspective. I don't believe that an 8:30 meeting on a Friday morning is reasonable. That's working hours. That's asking people to take PTO to volunteer for the town. I'd like to see the chair consider other times. I don't know if that's been discussed. I think that might help, and it also might help for future volunteers as well for the commission, and maybe that's the issue. That could be the single issue, that it's during work hours. That's something that I've always noticed. I think there's another commission that has meetings around that time as well, but that might be worth investigating.
I think that came down the pike from years ago when you had all of the people who were involved in this commission, the Denise Winarskis and, you know, our social services. They were there, it was morning, they got the meeting out of the way. And times are changing, and I totally agree with you. I think it's time to look at the meeting times and maybe redirect it.
Great point.
So I think we're in agreement that we should go back, ask Robin to go back to these people, ask for commitment.
And I will definitely
Consider
go to
time.
the next meeting and try to help them out to get them straightened out. If I apologize, I didn't realize I was the liaison for
I'll
that.
double check that, I'm not
Okay.
100% sure.
Well, if not, we'll make it
Yeah.
go.
And then also ask, like Claire had mentioned about maybe considering time change.
Yeah. I know she went from like monthly to quarterly to see
Yes.
if
Yeah,
how people
yeah.
attend, get people to attend, so. All right, and I think at the end of the day, we still want the essence of the commission, like what they're supposed to do. We're just trying to find a way to get it done in a more efficient, effective manner. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so no action there. Item number 7, or item number 8 is discussion and approval to transfer funds in the amount of $9,400 from contingency to the finance department for software licensing and refer to the Board of Finance. You guys received a memo from our finance director, Mandy Moore, explaining what she's looking for. So I believe she is on Zoom, currently under Suffield Finance, Chris. So, Mandy, can you hear us?
I can.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. If you could just give a brief summary and overview of what you're requesting, why you're requesting, and how it's going to help your department.
Yeah, so Ian and I have both looked at this software that I learned about when I was out at the conference. We've done a couple demos, and we've actually used some of our own data, not just their demo data, so we could see the way it would work for us actually. I ran it by Becky. She thinks it would be okay to use. It does employ some AI, but basically all it does is it does matching. So you have an Excel spreadsheet and a PDF, and it matches numbers up. So the slow process of bank reconciliations gets sped up. So you're focusing on like what the outliers are versus every single transaction.
How long do reconciliations usually take?
So it depends on the bank, but some of them, like are the big ones that we cut all of our AP checks for the Board of Ed and the town out of, Ian says it takes them 2 days sometimes to do them.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for me?
This
I-
is,
oh,
no,
go ahead.
Kathy, you go first.
So Mandy, it's $9,400 to start. What is the yearly fee, and does the school use any of this software that they could piggyback with us?
So the annual fee is 93 and change, and that includes the implementation costs, and that's for 2 users. If you go up to 5 users, the per user fee goes down, but the overall cost obviously goes up because you have more people using it. So we thought we would start with 2 users, see how it works, but we think there are a lot of applications outside of just bank reconciliations in terms of accounts payable, checking payroll, things like that.
What does the school use to do their reconciling?
They don't have nearly as many cash accounts that we do, so the cash accounts that we share, finance does, and they only reconcile the cash accounts that are like student activity funds, things that aren't town funds. I think they also do the cafe fund, so they do a lot less than Ian does.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
This is Claire Blanco. I just have a few quick questions for you. So with the demo or proof of concept that you did, just to confirm, you did use town data as a part of that? Like you tested it with our data to see how it would work?
Yeah, so the first one that we viewed, they just had their basic demo data, and then what they asked for the follow-up was we sent them a PDF of our bank statement with obviously our account numbers redacted, and then we sent them an export from Munis, our financial software. And in the real time, they showed us how they would give it instructions and tell it how to match things up, and then it writes instructions for future times so that each time it does it, it gets quicker.
Sure, okay, that makes sense. And follow-up question on that, so do you feel that we have the in-house expertise to use the tool effectively? I know a lot of times with these agentic AI tools, they rely on support contracts essentially. Like do you and the team feel comfortable writing those instructions and writing the prompts to be able to get the outputs that you're looking for?
Yeah, so I think as part of the onboarding process, what they walk you through is doing those initial setup for the different ones that you're going to use it, so that you have a couple different sets of instructions. So the ones that we did in the demo, it wrote a whole list of instructions. And so what they would probably do is take those that we did together and just clean those up to make sure it's looking at everything it has to. But that's actually part of the onboarding, is that they do those initial setups with you.
Oh, perfect. That's good that that's included as a part of it. And then, do you know, have you asked them if any other municipalities are using this type of software? I don't know how much AI is embedded in any other software that the town uses. I don't know if this is the first, but just curious if that ever came up.
So they are just breaking into the municipality realm, but they have a lot of government entities that use them right now. So a lot of state auditors, like the State of California Auditors Association, like the ones that go in and do everything, like I don't know if that's actually one of their customers, but I was just using an example. They have a lot of different groups like that, and a lot of the big firms, they didn't name which ones, but a lot of the top 5 use them for auditing.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. And do you have, or I guess, have you thought through plans for human oversight of this? I guess what would that look like, just to validate that what the agentic AI is doing is correct?
Yeah, so Becky and I have already been engaged talking about an AI policy. She said she had been working on one for the Board of Ed, and before I did the demo with them, I asked her about that so we can work on that. Like I said, she did review the contract and what it outlines. They don't keep any of our data to train their models.
Okay.
It's basically in the cloud, and then it's expunged right away. So in terms of oversight, I think it'll start larger, just validating what it's doing and making sure that it's right and it's not matching things incorrectly. And then as we get using it like any other tool, you're gonna get more comfortable with it and move forward.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Mandy, this is Pete Hill, and that I have a very similar question to Claire's last one. I want to be clear, I'm not a computer person, so this might not be a very intelligent question, but you're confident that the AI portion of it we will be secure from any hacks or anything that goes south?
Yeah. Yes. So because the tool is actually embedded in Excel, you're bringing it into our server and our environment. You're not uploading anything. You're not really exposed to the use of the cloud.
Okay. And would the company, is there anything in the contract that let's say something does happen and we lose $1 million because of an AI hack or something, do we have the ability to get our funds back?
So they do have a SOC 2 report, which is basically their analysis of their security measures and things like that. I would have to recheck the contract if there's any insurance as if they were at fault. I'm not positive, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing that, but that doesn't mean it's not there.
All right. Thank you.
Just want to clarify, this is like an attachment to an Excel spreadsheet, like application. So they're not going beyond anything like the Excel spreadsheet that you have access to for that.
Yeah, so in Excel, like all your tabs at the top, if you have more robust firms of Excel that have like macros and stuff like that, there's additional tabs. This is an additional tab that's available in your navigation bar at the top, basically.
With the ability to get out of the contract after a year?
Yes, it is a yearly 365-day contract, yes. And like any other contract, there's the ability to, request to be removed from it, so.
This is Pete Hill again, Mandy, and to that point, it sounds like this will save a tremendous amount of labor if 6 months down the road, we find out that this is a great program. Could we get a discount for re-upping for another year, 6 months early?
Yeah, so they said when we signed the contract for the first year, if we add additional users, it's still at that $388 per user until the next year. But if then we're at the 5 users, it goes down to the, like, I think it's like $350. You know, it's a discount for how many users you have. But for that first year, so 6 months down the road, if we decide we want 3 more users, we're still gonna pay the same base price per user, but we would get a discount next time.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
This is Claire Blanco, just one comment on that for the board's awareness. So this company, they haven't had any data breaches historically. If you know what the term local means, it basically means like on your machine. So that's their whole model around this tool. So it's like she was saying, the exposure possibility is extremely low compared to a lot of other AI tools that are out there. So the risk is definitely lower than for a lot of other solutions.
That's very good, thank you, because I had no idea about that.
What is everyone's thoughts?
I think it's great.
Mandy, can I just have one more question? You are gonna get 2 licenses, one for you and one for Ian. Would someone like Casey be included in this because she reconciles quite a few accounts as well, or is this just for the 2 of you for the time being?
So Casey provides us the feed for what was moved in cash, and then it gets posted by one of our accounting clerks, and then Ian does the actual reconciliation. So she's not the one matching up the bank statements with what was posted in Munis.
Okay, thank you, that was my error.
Sophie thinks it's great.
Yep.
What does everyone, we'll give it a shot for a year and see
Yeah.
how to come back during the budget process and tell us what the thoughts are.
This is Kathy Harrington. I'll make a motion that we approve the transfer of funds in the amount of $9,400 from contingency to the finance department for software licensing and refer to the Board of Finance.
All right, the motion has been made. Is there any discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thanks, Mandy, for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good night. All right, item number 9 is public comment. We'll start in the room. Is there any public comment in the room? All right, I see a hand. If you just state your name and address for the record, we'll get a microphone over to you.
All right, Sandy Janik, thanks for hearing me again. I want to back up another moment to the Social Services Commission. I just went online and looked at the information posted for the composition. And I just want to remind you, you have a vacancy now. Regardless of the other 6 people and how much they participate, you have an open vacancy now. You've got 2 unaffiliated, 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats sitting on the commission right now. So pretty much anyone of any political affiliation is going to be okay in terms of majority. And like I said, this seat's been open. As you can see, my letter of interest and application for it was dated December of last year. So it's been open for at least 8 months, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when I applied for it and I looked, it had been open for at least a couple of months at that point. So I'm thinking it's probably been open for at least close to a year. So remember, you've got an opening as well as talking to other people. And I don't know what interest you've got, but like I said, I'm certainly interested. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut at this point. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment in the room? All right, seeing none, I'll move to Zoom. Is there any public comment on Zoom? I see one hand. Ms. Cornish, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Annie Hornish, Thrall Avenue. I just want to make a comment. Really briefly, as you know, the Board of Selectmen is not empowered to disband the commission, but I would suggest that that remaining position be filled with someone who's very motivated, like Sandra Janik, and let the chair just start a task force as is already within her power and see what happens, see if things can change. By just simply changing it to a task force reporting to the office of the first selectman, that's just a consolidation of power. And that's not, in my view, good governance. That's not inspiring people to work for the town, it's consolidating power. And that's all I have to say about that. The other thing is with the audio quality on Zoom tonight, Selectman Hill was pretty quiet. We couldn't hear you, I know you were speaking early on, and then it was corrected. Selectman Dunai, you were relatively quiet throughout the entire meeting in terms of audio level. All the other selectmen, the 3 Republicans, were very loud and clear. I just want you to know that, and before these meetings start, maybe do a sound check so people can hear you. I don't know what the quality is going to be like with this meeting online. That's the record. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there any other public comment on Zoom? Any other comment on Zoom? All right, seeing none, we will move to selectmen updates. I've got a bunch of updates here. So Quarry Road should be complete and open by the end of this week. It's been a long process, but the bridge is installed and taken care of, and I think we're just adding lines and clearing some brush on the side. The state did approve, if you recall, the Mapleton sidewalk, final designs, so we are looking to go out to bid by late next week and see what we get from there. That will be going just to Ren Drive, so you guys are aware. Roadwork is complete on Rising Corner, so Kathy, you look right there.
Yes,
Does it look good?
they did a great job. Wait a minute, I gotta talk into this. They did a wonderful job. They were there for almost a week. They dug it down, they put a new sub-basin in it. It's really nice. Hope it doesn't speed everybody up, but it's a very nice job they did. Lines are in, tree people were down cutting trees, so it's really a very nice change for me.
Awesome. We also completed road work on South Grand Street, so much like Bridge Street, have deteriorated, and we just did put a patch over it. So thanks to DPW for all the work they're doing right now. They're also on Harborside Drive, so we're redoing the road there as well. Reminder that early voting is happening right now for the Democratic primary. So that is at the main conference room at Town Hall from, I want to say 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I want to congratulate Karen Ziamba, our HR director, on her retirement. So her last day is this Friday. And I'm inviting you guys to join us at 9 a.m. at the Senior Center. Just a little retirement party for her. Shannon Foley will be our new HR director. She's been with us, I don't even know how long, but 7, 8 years. 8 years. So she's been waiting in the wings, and I wish her the best of luck. And I wish Karen the best of luck on her retirement. We hope to be completing the radio project towards the end of this year. We've had a lot of delays in terms of contracts with the tower sites, so that's really pushed us back, but we are still on schedule, hopefully to get this done by the end of the year. The Windsor Locks Canal Trail continues to be worked on with that LOTSIP grant that we got a couple years back. At one point, Deep said they wanted stone dust, so we started going down that path, and then Deep and State DOT didn't agree, and DOT says asphalt, so obviously that was more expensive. We just got that quote back. We're going to Crawford, they asked for more money to complete the whole project. So if that's approved, which we already have had discussions with them, I believe they will approve it, then we can start to go out to bid for that one. We did end up receiving 2 grants recently for the culvert and bridge projects that we bonded for on Suffield Street, Hickory, and Copper Hill. So what we projected, we got maybe $100,000 more on the other one, which will help offset the Phelps Road project, since we did not get approved for that grant, because apparently DOT doesn't think we're rural enough to receive the grant. And I just want to thank the organizers and the organizations and town departments that put National Night Out together last night. It was well attended. It was a good event. I saw Kathy was there. So thanks to all of them. And if you guys have anything you want to share, we'll move forward. All right, well then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.